Look, I'm performing tonight, you know that shit gon' be packed. Pay me in advance and make sure that it's exact. My ex-girl will probably show up for the simple fact that tomorrow she could tell all of her friends it was whack. But fuck that, though, this about me. They say my whole fan base is missing ID, but the young trans.
My name is Paul Saint, and I grew up in New York City. Today I'll be showing you guys around the places where I discovered my Asian American identity. I mean, growing up in New York City, in this diverse city, is where I found my identity. And today I'll be taking you guys to my elementary school, PS 134, where I first realized that I was different. Then I'll be taking you guys to Dai Pan Association. That's where my dad worked for a few years of his life, and where I spent most of my summers. And after that, we'll come back here and so let's head out. So right now we're going to my elementary school, PS 134. So the building it is actually shared with another school, Shengwen Academy. They taught Chinese, English in the morning and Chinese in the afternoon. And the student body was mostly Asian American students. My school, PS 134, was made up of a diverse range of races and ethnicities. It had African Americans, whites, Hispanics, and Asians in it, because it was a public school. And so whenever my class would pass by the Shengwen Academy classes in the hallways, going to different classes, they would make fun of them, like say ching chong ya, things like that. And I realized that like if they're the same skin color as me, like they looked like me, how come like I wasn't made fun of as much? Like it was just a weird experience, and that's when I first realized that I was different. And the second time was later on, 4th, 5th grade, when we had a few immigrant students come in. They're also Chinese American, and the thing is, at first when I saw them, I was like, oh, people that look like me, so we're gonna automatically be friends just because of that. But it didn't really work that way, because they grew up mostly in China and I grew up in America, so our cultures were different, our beliefs were a little different, and they mostly spoke Chinese and I spoke English most of the time, so it really didn't click that well. And that's when I realized that as an Asian American, like, we're not all the same, even though we might look the same and everything. That's when I started realizing that I was different and I wasn't gonna be like other Asian Americans. And then in the 6th grade was when I was introduced to unicorn dancing. My father working at Dai Pan Association, which I'll bring you guys later to. He was the janitor there. He every year would talk about the Chinese New Year festival and how they would go around Chinatown celebrating it. And in the 6th grade, that was the first time I actually took a leave from school that day. Before that, I had perfect attendance. So after doing that, I started doing unicorn dance, and I was talk to you guys later about that. I continued to do that until, well, I'm still doing that. So that's when I started accepting my Asian identity and that I was different from everyone else. So PS 134. Alright, so right now we're outside my Chinese school. We're on the way to Dai Pan Association, where my dad worked. I spent 12 years at Chinese school, and well, this Chinatown knows. Yeah, since 12 years here. Thing is, like, this place didn't really have much of an effect on me growing up. Like, identifying myself as Asian American, even though I spent 12 years here. It was actually the things I've done outside of Chinese school that helped me find out who I am today. Let's keep going. So right now we're outside Dapan Association. This is where I go to after Saturday class at Chinese school. I basically spend the whole night there until like midnight when my dad got off work. He's the janitor there for 5 years. He's retired now. And this is also where I go to for my unicorn dancing thing during Chinese New Year. As mentioned before, since 6th grade, I come in here every year during Chinese New Year. And I go out with my unicorn group to around Chinatown, surrounding areas, just to celebrate the New Year. And I've been doing that ever since. So those are just a few places that I've been to that I find important to my discovering my Asian identity. Of course, there are many more places that were vital to my influence on who I am today, but those are just some important ones I want to mention. So basically, it was in my elementary school that I realized that I was different. And that's when I first started to think differently. And then going to Dapan Association, where everyone's Chinese American in the middle of Chinatown, that continued to reinforce my beliefs that my identity and who I am. And I mean, in America, growing up, especially like where mass media and popular culture, it's kind of like force you to assimilate to fit the role of like American, but it was actually here that I found my heritage, even though being born here as an ABC American born Chinese, that I found the heritage of my parents and my grandparents. So those are just some things I want to share with you guys today, and that's all.